Agents of I.C.S. is a Monster of the Week horror podcast meant for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome back to Agents of I.C.S., a Monster of the Week horror podcast. Let's join our agents now. What ho there, travelers?
What ho?
What ho? Wow, rude.
Hark.
Hark, says the ho.
Excuse me?
That's kind of rude.
That is kind of rude.
I'm calling myself a ho. It's okay. I'm saying hark.
But I'm the one who said hark.
Oh,
and
no.
then you said hark says the ho.
Oh no, well I guess we're all hoes.
I refuse.
You're not gonna hark at me?
No hoes here.
There are no
No
hoes
hoeing allowed.
presents.
No hawking.
No hawking and no hoes. Anyway, back to the nonsense. To quickly reiterate, Carson is upstairs helping Martha and her chopped up fingies. Jay, double checked on the two of them. The basement traversal, aka the stairs, are perfectly fine now. When opening both doors, you guys can see up and down without any issue. Jay is assisting William upstairs.
When I say assisting, I'm dragging him up by the legs.
Effectively, I mean, however you want to grab him, he's all of his God-given limbs are still on him, or however you want to find that. But he still has all his bits. Margot aimed true. She almost aimed too true and decided to take the arm anyway. But we're keeping that streak going.
As one does.
Understandable. Question is, does she have just like
He doesn't deserve to continue playing the piano.
oh wow, that's brutal. Do you have a room of arms?
True, but
What was your question?
Do you have a room of arms?
No, of course not.
Are you sure?
I have a mental room. Does that count?
Yeah, okay.
sure, that's normal.
Yeah, just keeping track of how many arms you cut off.
Like a
Yes.
hidden journal with like countings.
Yeah, maybe.
Your little black book is just full of arms you've taken.
Yes.
Hell yeah. All right.
Weirdly enough, very beautifully painted.
Wait. She draws the arms?
Yeah,
Wow, Margo.
very
Impressive.
artistic. Also gory.
All right, now I'm concerned.
Hey, this is you we're talking about. We're concerned. Do we need to talk to you about this?
No.
Is this why Maverick bought your dog?
No, maybe.
Dogs don't have arms. It's safe.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. To cut quickly back to you, Margo. You're still surrounded by all this crazy bullshit. And like I mentioned, the table before you is very clearly William's working station. The two things that stand out the most there are the quill in question and this sheet of music that is unmarred, unlike everything else around it. Remind me, what did you do to the sheet of music?
Didn't write it down.
I think we just stuffed both of them away, or at least Margot did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have stuffed it away for later study.
Okay. To be somewhat specific, when you say you stuffed away the music, where did you put it? How did you stuff it away?
I'm sure I have a special bag because it's definitely a relic too.
Okay, fair enough. And then the quill, you're also stuffing that away?
Yes.
All right. I guess to rewind back to our joke.
I'm picturing that special pouch from Warehouse 13. You know when they drop stuff in it, the sparks just like pop out.
Yeah, hey, however you want to imagine it. I'm down with that because this is a really spicy meatball that you got your hands on. To harken back to our joke 5 seconds
I'm
ago,
glad Jay isn't in the room when it explodes.
Margo, are you artistic in any way, shape, or form?
I had not pictured it. No.
I will say then, as you're picking up, you guys all felt a pull from this thing. But the two of you, Carson and Jay, decided to help the victims first, and that's fair. But regardless, even leaving the room, there's a pressure still here. And Margaret decided to approach said pressure. And you see this quill, and you know that's what it's emanating from, 100%. You guys already rolled to break whatever thrall it might have had, but as you physically touch it, of course you're wearing gloves, Margot, I'm going to ask you to roll to keep it together one more time, plus weird, but go ahead and give yourself a +1 on this. Excellent. Reminder that your stress button at the bottom should give you all the extra VS. We got a 10, though. So, Margot, you add no stress. In fact, things are just fine. But you do feel a thrumming and a rumbling coming from it, almost as if something is gyrating between your fingers, like it's alive. But you're able to quickly put it away in this little bag, this little pouch.
Creepy.
Slightly. And you zip it away. For a brief moment, you think you heard whispers, almost as if it was calling out to you. But you can seal your mind and seal this thing away. No stress is added, and looking around the room, you can see that your allies are gone. And while there are still an absurd, just crazy amount of crumpled up paper and just junk in this room, there's now substantially less. In fact, the room is also smaller. The vaulting ceiling that went up like 50 feet it's a standard basement. It just looks like a regular room now. Everything that was twisted, warped, and bent seems to have gone back to normal. Except for the piano, which has a nice chunk taken out of it due to your sword, but
You're welcome.
also the corpse of the thing that you sliced in twain.
Also welcome.
After procuring the goods, Margot, what do you do?
I think I don't sense anything else in the room that needs to be bagged, right?
You do not know. And while you're looking around, you hear a thump, thump, thump as Jay is dragging William up the stairs.
I was gonna say you are hearing that.
It's music to my ears.
It's kind of messed up.
All right, so would I bag the critter, or is that safe to call the crew?
So, standard procedure, if you think the critter is actually dead, as in it will not, vampire dust back into a vampire, or however vampires, it's a little blood puddle decides to reconstitute itself.
Oh, see, that's a trick question because I'm not an expert on monsters and anything can come back if I don't know everything about it.
This is correct, but I will be very clear with these kind of things unless I say, oh, it's still somehow twitching or you feel a presence in the room. I'll say things like that. So, looking at this, Margot, having contained this artifact, you know this thing's dead.
All right, I will call my special section because they're the one who wants the body dead or alive.
Okay. It's mostly it's mostly in one piece. It's in two pieces, but you didn't hack it apart.
Hey, they didn't specify in one or several pieces.
No, they did not. Oh, there's also an arm on the ground. Forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, you call them up real quick, and they're mostly happy with your results. Of course, not alive. They understand after you describe what this thing was. Understandably, catching this thing alive would have been somewhat difficult. To put it bluntly, catching things alive is obviously the preferred method, but they're not expecting it. So if we say catch this thing alive, if it's the size of like a potato, they'll be like, hey, it was tiny. Why couldn't you get it? If it's the size of a car, yeah, we get it. You had to kill it. If you can somehow like big brain it, cool. You know they will never be angry if it's dead, unless they really specify this thing must be alive.
Yeah, well, they better give me more help next time if they want it alive.
Oh, I mean, you succeeded, so yeah, you're getting help.
And then I will go back upstairs.
All right, after calling them in, they'll be here. We're not too far from, one of the primary locations, but it'll be a few hours, but we can easily contact local law enforcement. Julie and whatnot can help expedite that, and we can basically rope off this place so no one comes down here. And as you head up, you see Carson and Jay. I don't know, are you tending to William, or are you just kind of laying him off to the side after you drag him up the stairs?
I'm just sitting on the chair smoking.
All right, fair enough. Carson, what are you doing?
I've had to deal with enough today.
What are you doing with Martha? She's awake. She is bleeding, but you have helped her.
I mean, how's she looking?
Shocked, incredibly shocked. In fact, she doesn't even recognize Jay dragging her husband up the stairs until a good minute later, as she kind of turns, and she actually notices when she sees Margot come up the stairs. And she looks down at her husband and says, What happened? What did you do to him? What's wrong with my William?
He did it to himself.
Shush. I don't know how to tell you this. But your husband's
I'm just
gotten
gonna throw them on
into
his
some
back.
pretty bad stuff. I think you're gonna need a minute.
She goes to stand up and kind of walk towards him, but she's very clearly hurt. Did you say he's back up or back down, Jay?
I'm tipping him over so his back is like up, so you can see like the marks on his back.
Okay. Seeing those, she starts to panic. These look gruesome. And
Don't worry, they aren't bleeding or anything.
she's completely and she's just kind of shaking and slowly reaching out for him, but not like actually touching him.
I'm going to stand in the way to block her view. Jay, are you serious? She's a normie.
Yeah, now we know.
You breaking her line of sight shakes her out of it for a moment, Margot, and she looks up at you and says, What happened down there? I was cooking for you all, and I just woke up and she looks back at her hand that's been wrapped, fortunately, thanks to Carson, so she can't see the extent of the damage, but she can see all the blood.
Actually,
yeah.
Sorry. Where are the fingers?
They're still on the cutting board.
I'm going to put them in the freezer.
No,
I'm gonna
aren't,
put him in a bag in the freezer.
no, aren't they sliced to bits? Because
Yeah.
she was slicing.
Sometimes you can reattach.
It's more ground finger.
Yeah, I think that's more effort than is
Okay.
humanly possible.
All right, I assume that she cut a little bit and then I
Yeah.
don't know.
Basically, she cut.
So it's minced finger.
It's minced finger. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a pile of blood and flesh.
Yeah, I stand in front of that also. I'm like, you don't want to look at that.
She isn't even considering it. She glances up for a moment, but fortunately you're in the way. So she starts looking around and goes, "Oh, all right." And she's just staring off into space, just
I
like,
said, ma'am, I think you need to sit down.
yeah. She just kind of back against the wall and slides down, and she's just kind of holding her hand, and she winces as if like she forgot, and then she's just looking at the blood again, and she's and then from this moment forward, she'll just be out of it, just completely shocked, like, what the hell is happening? And after not too long, Julian arrives with a few officers. They begin to tape the area off. Julian and another agent that you guys possibly recognize he kind of snuck his way in as well, is directing people where to go, where not to go. They're making it sound like this isn't really all that bad. We just have a, domestic dispute. We'll get things taken care of. You guys just rope things off. Julian and I will take care of this. And they kind of give a quick nod. They say, we already have 3 specialists on the scene. And Julian and this other individual, they move on in just fine. Do you have any special instructions for Julian?
Are any of these individuals to pick up the creature?
You recognize this person in a way that you don't recognize him because he's incredibly boring looking. He's very much a face that you would lose in a crowd, Margot. You've seen him before. You remember not remembering him. And he nods to you as if to say, you called me. And he just kind of looks to the basement and points there and says, is that where it is?
I'll nod and walk down with him just to make sure it's fine.
Okay, he wordlessly follows you, looking about. The man is wearing a rather large backpack as he kind of looks around and says, just like he's mumbling to himself, no words in particular, just kind of a shit show. And completely ignored William, completely ignored Martha, just heads straight down. He sees this pile of dead, ? Not really sure what it is, and just looks at you, looks back at it.
I shrug.
Points and shrugs as well.
I nod.
He nods back, opens the backpack, and begins to get to work. This thing kind of expands a bit. And he looks at it as to say, shit, will this thing even fit? And shrugs and just kind of begins getting to work and very, very carefully placing it in the backpack and kind of motions up the stairs saying, you can take care of them and run interference if you want.
Okay, I'll go back up.
All right, they nod, and dude just kind of continues stuffing this thing into a bag. Julian's looking around and just kind of slowly nodding as if to say, like, okay, this was sort of to be expected. And says, were there any outside fatalities or damages?
Sorry, outside what?
Fatalities, deaths.
No deaths.
There was the girl at the hotel that got hurt.
She didn't die.
Correct.
No, but she got hurt.
Yes. I more so mean with this incident in particular.
Fatality?
No, it was localized to the basement.
Oh, well, good job then. He's looking around and closing windows as he's talking to you guys. This, well, good thing it just didn't go on for too long. That would have been pretty bad. We don't want any looky-loos, though. That would be even worse. And he looks down at Martha and William, and as he kind of looks to you guys, he whispers over to Jay as you're smoking. He's like, William's alive, correct?
Well, he's not dead yet.
All right, good. He's
not sure what the hell happened to him, though.
Well, we'll get that figured out. That's my job. Yay. And then he quickly addresses Martha, effectively letting her know, you can head outside. We'll take care of your husband. Don't worry. The 2 officers there will speak with you, etc., etc. We can meet you at the station if you wish. If you need medical assistance, as he looks at her hand, says, you do. We'll get you taken care of. They'll swing you by the hospital, etc., etc. And she very shakily stands as he helps her, taking her non-wounded hand, quickly leads her outside. Both officers, after they finish wrapping things up, they hop into one of the vehicles and drive off. Julian still has his backup vehicle, and of course, you guys have yours. And he heads back in to look at William. He goes, all right, well, we're going to need to bring him into my office and get him looked at. Was there anything else you guys need of me?
I just point at Marco.
Yeah, you don't look very good. What? God, your clothes. He finally kind of gets the whiff, goes, oh, Jesus, what are you covered in?
I more so meant her bag, not her, but yeah, sure.
Blood?
No, acid.
Acid blood?
Nodding slowly. All right, well, you both seem to be a little worse for wear.
Oh, I've had worse.
You're still moving. Well, I'll grab William here. You have something in your backpack, Margot? Is it for me, or is it, you know?
Wait, is he the one we would give that to?
No, he's medical specifically.
No, this is not medical related. It's not you.
Yeah, your job basically is to literally take it back to I.C.S, Margot. You personally, they trust. The thing is, you're good enough at your job, but they trust you to take these things and bring them back. Weaker folk,
Excellent.
weaker folk would fall to its thrall, and that's not good. We don't want this happening literally back to back to back. He nods, and heading outside real quick, he gets a gurney, I think is the correct word, and he gets ready to prepare William to kind of toss him on there. And alone, he doesn't need assistance unless you guys wish to help him. I says, if you guys need medical attention, let me know. I can, quickly stitch something up or burn any wounds closed if you're really in need. But you look mostly fine. I that doesn't look like it's mostly your blood, right?
Yeah, it's a mix of two.
What Jay said.
All right, that's not great. I guess it explains the smell. Anyway, I'm gonna bring him back to the station. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, well, I guess this is where we can delve into it. I know it's only midday, but y'all stink. So I'd probably recommend, getting somehow taken care of.
The acid does burn.
Slightly, yeah. Probably don't come to the
Oh
office
my god.
dressed in...
This house is open for use, right?
Technically, as long as you cover your tracks, the usual.
That's easy enough.
Are you suggesting I shower in their bathroom?
I mean, Jay's gonna go upstairs and use that shower.
I'm not going to stop you.
Oh my.
Y'all got the hotel. You can use that. You can use their shower. Just with all that...
Drive in his car with this stench on him. Come on.
Yeah, he nods.
It's like the acid.
Yeah, he nods understandably. He just kind of looks at you guys. You're professionals, so he's like, just make sure you clean up after yourselves. We're not going to have a team come through here unless you absolutely need. We'll have a general cleanup crew. They're going to have to... He kind of leans over you guys and looks down the stairs and goes, oof. Yeah. Actually, on second thought, we'll probably have a cleanup crew. Their house will be closed off for maybe a day or so. We'll, of course, give the Chambers a hotel, stay in the meantime. No expenses spared, etc., while we get this place cleaned up. And how much did Martha see, exactly?
Too
Seems
much.
to be in some kind of trance, but...
Yeah, I don't think she actually saw that much.
She saw the holes in his back. That's too much.
I mean, we confirmed she wasn't in on it, at least.
She wasn't in on it, and she is definitely under some other sort of, like, hypnosis. Maybe, like you said, like a trance.
You know what caused it?
I'm sorry, what?
And it might have been the thing downstairs, but...
Yeah, so I feel like maybe she is... I feel like she's seen stuff, but has no context.
Okay. He's nodding along, like, I think we can work with that. All right. Well, depending on what William remembers, we're going to have to question him. This might get messy. We'll have to figure out which...
If he's responsible for this, then, you know what? Maybe it deserves to be messy.
I second that.
I'm not even sure he'll be coherent when he wakes up.
We'll get things figured out. Obviously, there's a couple options, depending on when people see beyond the veil, however you want to phrase it. If they don't see too much, we quickly re-educate them, send them back into society. If they see far too much, we attempt to re-educate them. If that fails...
make sure you examine this one carefully.
Yeah, he's looking over William's body, kind of turning him over, looking at his arms, nodding along as like, okay, same exact wounds that Alex had. This all lines up. And he's kind of thinking to himself as he's looking over William's body, and he's saying, yeah, this looks like a pretty bad case. Of course, worst case scenario would be, well, removal. But I guess if Martha saw him in a pretty bad state, we could say he passed after due to complications. Of course, there's always, real easy to fill those out. I'd prefer not to. And of course, if it was malicious and they cannot be re-educated, then that leads down the same route. But, well, we'll get things figured out. And he kind of throws a sheet over William and begins to roll him out the front door. Says, I'll leave the house to you guys. Just, lock it on the way out. And he kind of points to nearby the door where they have their keys kind of just sitting there. Says, y'all can take the keys. Obviously, the Chambers will not be coming back here. Preferably, we don't want them coming back here. Well, her. God, if he comes back. I'll be looking at his body for now. He's definitely out of it. He kind of gives him a playful slap on the cheek, and he barely even moans. He's just out. He goes, yeah. And with that, he
All
gives
right.
he kind of gives you all a nod and he begins to head out.
Okay, then.
All right, and Jay, you said you kind of rushed upstairs to take a shower?
Basically.
Is it safe to wash this poison shit off down their plumbing?
Probably. It's most likely more active when it's hot. It's definitely cooled and stuck to your skin and clothes by now.
I mean, either way, Jay doesn't care, so.
Then I will find the other bathroom. Hopefully there's a shower in it. Oh, and I will steal some of her clothes.
When you
Marco comes out in a frilly dress.
Yeah, but to say she was very, very like 1920s, 1930s. Are you grabbing something?
I will find what is the most subdued and take that. It doesn't matter.
Okay, she does have some pretty normal, boring clothes, but like few and far between. After some digging, you're able to find them.
Look, they don't even have to fit properly. I just can't, keep my current clothes.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely stinking up a storm. These probably need to be burned, realistically. And while they're showering and plundering, Carson, what are you doing?
Oh, gosh. I'm here to consult. If I'm not consulting, I don't know what to do.
That is fair. And as you're thinking that, the individual downstairs is hauling this large backpack. You kind of hear him just, thud, thud, and he's just like walking one step at a time up the stairs.
Oh my god. Is he dragging that creature?
No, he's wearing the backpack, but it's just
that's
really...
the backpack.
Yeah, the creature's in the backpack, so he gives you a nod, and...
You need any help with that, man?
Nah, he shakes his head no.
Pride is not a virtue.
He looks at the backpack and then looks at you as if, like, how are we supposed to both wear this?
I don't know. I mean, could hold it. I don't know.
He kind of like, ha! He gives you a thumbs up and just starts walking by, and he goes at the front door to his car.
I nod, and I'm like, all right, just thought I'd offer.
The laugh and the nod were appreciative, but, he's got it. He's literally, 20 feet from the car. It's all good. And after some time, Margo and Jay, you guys are able to shower. Jay, if you want to yoink some of William's clothes, you're obviously more than welcome to. Margo, you find a pretty normal set of clothing. And what do you guys do with your old clothes?
I'm taking his nicest clothes with me.
Sure.
Trash bag.
All right, trash bag it is.
Trunk of the car.
And preferably one of those thick lawn bags.
Sure. They got some nice...
Anything that's salvageable, at least I'll throw in the back of the car, basically.
The pants might be salvageable. Basically, everything Margo's wearing is not, so... She was in the thick of it, unfortunately.
I mean, I am a sword wielder, so yes.
That's how it is, yeah. And Jay was trying to suplex it, so he dodged most of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, with all this taken care of, you guys effectively have free reign. At this point, before you guys head back to your standard lives, of course, you guys may speak with Julian. You can do it the next day if you wish. You'll have more answers then, of course. But effectively, post-case is when you guys can ask questions, whether they be to NPCs that you still had questions for, or like, hey, what did these wounds look like? What does this thing mean? Et cetera, et cetera. So now is basically open forum. I probably won't have you guys roll too much for some of these questions, unless it's a very, very, very like complicated specific question. But anything basic we'd have answers to, you guys can hit up Julian, because he won't be here for much longer. He's going to be leaving in like a day or two. After he finishes up checking out William's body, getting all the paperwork filled out, he's just going to peace out from Russell Springs.
I mean, I do want Julian's opinion on William.
Yeah. I'd like to know what their final notes are.
And then who would they be? Would my company, employer, whatever, be sharing info on the creature?
They will definitely look at it. It is, the reason they want it alive is so they can test it. But if you bring it in dead, they can still do what they can. You can give any valid information that you're able to find. You did cut off an arm. It tried growing one back. So he took the arm and also the regrown parts of the specimen, shoved all that together, as one does. But yes, they should definitely very much have answers.
All right, well, I imagine that same day is probably filled with debriefings where we recount what we experienced. And then I guess question is the next day, right?
Effectively, yeah. You guys got the shit kicked out of you, so a day of rest is, well needed.
Like, by the time Jay leaves the shower, he's already at rest, and he just casually goes down to the kitchen and starts making sandwiches for himself.
Ooh, I like it.
He'll ask Carson if he wants one as well.
When I come down, I want one too.
Sure.
All right.
Just basic ass peanut butter sandwiches or something.
Perfect.
I think any sandwich is better if you're not the one that had to make it. That's my opinion.
This is a fact. You are correct.
So.
Alrighty, sandwiches all around. Y'all discuss anything before you head out for questions and such?
No, I'm just waiting for a debrief.
I mean, I'm curious about the stuff that Marco put in her bag, I guess.
Yeah,
Or more so the papers.
Like, do we get to find out what the creature is? What its history is? Are there any other things? Are we sure this is the only one? How does it work?
More basements if you want.
Realistically, you guys are just kind of chilling around the Chamber's kitchen dining table at the moment having sandwiches, so immediate questions would be aimed at each other, and then after that I can answer whatever general questions you guys have. So if you guys are done eating up, we can head out and speak with Julian. He'll have basically all the answers, and then Margot's like sect within I.C.S. will have answers regarding the little boy.
Did we ever actually check out the basements of the other two families?
I'm not sure if you did. One of you might have mentioned it, and I'll just go ahead and say, had you, it was just a basic basement, similarly designed to this one, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I assume we checked every room at least. So.
Oh, yeah. Simple things like checking basic rooms, would we have taken a copy of this thing, going all the way back, unless I deem it's super story relevant and like, oh, no, you missed your window. I will rarely do that. So 9 times out of 10.
Actually, real quick, after the sandwiches, I would like to peruse his study, see if he had any research notes on where the quill came from and the music. Like, did he go somewhere weird or talk to someone weird, like a weird ass letter?
Sure. Roll me investigate after you take your shower and check this out, or after you're sandwiched, you're full. Alrighty. You technically get one question. Which one are you shooting for? Remember, you don't need to phrase the question perfectly. This is for all of you. You can tell me a vague, what I want to know is this. I don't know how to phrase the question to get that answer, though, but all I want to know is X. You can always do that. It's okay.
I want to know if I can figure out where he got the items from.
Okay, and by items, you mean the quill and the paper?
Yeah, the quill and paper.
Okay, after some digging, this will definitely take you a little while, not too long, but it's a fairly large office. One thing you do find almost instantly is he did indeed burn the CD for you guys, the one that he promised. It is sitting on his desk, and it actually has a little sticky note on it. It says 4 guests, so that was indeed for you guys.
Oh, now I'm sad. I'll take it.
Okay. And looking about through all of his notes and everything, he was a very organized individual. So the absolute storm we saw downstairs is not like William whatsoever. In fact, it's so well organized, it's not that it takes you forever because of, disorganization. He just has so much shit. And obviously this isn't something he would just leave out. But you do find some notes that he kind of scrawled away somewhere. And it's very unclear, mainly because he doesn't even know. It's more so just, did I own a quill that looked this fancy, this nice? Was this my grandfather's or my father's or something? Or, shit, did someone leave it to me? Effectively, he kind of just found it. It just appeared one day. But you can tell from the notes past this, he felt something in this quill. He was in a rut prior to this, but after acquiring it, the music he was able to write, he was just free, just mentally. He was able to hit flow state like instantly. And he obviously kept it to himself, and he realized maybe it's a good luck quill or something. I got no idea, but I'm going to keep it away in my personal basement, for now, of course, until I finish this piece. Why change things if it's working? So it seems like he just literally randomly found it.
Okie dokes.
Sure, that's normal.
I mean, it could be complete coincidence, or it was planted.
Who knows?
All right, do we have any questions regarding the Chamber's home before we leave and head to talk with Julian?
No, that was the important one.
Yeah.
I would ask my pocket friend if there's anything in the house that he wants to have.
Did you already ask it today? Something?
Yeah, downstairs in the basement.
I think I did, yeah.
I would say if you already asked it something today, it's currently silent. It's not answering.
Yeah. More so if it wants me to take anything from the house. Because of our deal, basically.
Yeah, currently
usually it wants to steal something from.
Currently it's silent. It doesn't really request anything.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, is our next destination the station?
Destination imagination.
That's terrible.
The imagination station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine being stuck in your own imagination.
Terrible. All right. I guess we have to have downtime, yeah?
With 6 out of 7 hurt, yes.
Yeah.
Effectively, so Julian.
So I'll wait until tomorrow to speak
I would like
to Julian.
a week break at least.
Yeah, so Julian, effectively, you guys know, that you guys can take one day off and then come to him the next day because he does need to look over William's body. And of course, he's going to wake up, so that's going to be a little something. So preferably, he'd like to be undisturbed for the day, but you guys can swing in. If you want to take one day off, you can meet him tomorrow. Is that what you want to shoot for?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, perfect. Each of you can go ahead and heal 1 harm. We're just effectively taking this whole day off. Nothing crazy is happening. And we'll say about, midday or so, Julian lets you guys know that, yeah, you guys can head on by. We haven't released William. We'll say he texts you guys. William hasn't been released, but I've effectively gained all the information I can gain before, having to actually knock him out and keep looking at him, which gets a little sloppy.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Julian has basically his report fully written up to the best of his ability. He'll be leaving later today, so now's your guys' only chance to question him.
I just want to know what's going on. I want to know what the creature is.
That'll be answered through Margot, and we can answer that after we speak to Julian. It'll take them, obviously, a hot second because there's a bit more to look at.
Okay.
So heading over to the station, like I said, unless it's a super weird question, y'all can ask him if you want.
He's in charge of, like, the bodies and stuff?
For now, yeah.
Well, was there anything weird on William that wasn't on the other ones?
He let you know through his report that everything on William was just exaggerated as if it had been going on for longer, but it didn't look like it didn't really look like it was probably pulling some blood from William, but nowhere near enough. It was juicing William up though with something.
With something, but we don't know what.
Sucked out of the kid.
It's not a chemical that yeah, it's not a chemical Julian recognizes. There's trace amounts of all the victims' blood in this concoction though. Just tiny amounts. And it's fragmented. It's real sloppy. But whatever this thing that was being injected into William is, it's got, parts of Alex, his family, the other family. It's got some from the girl that y'all ran into, Lee. Nothing from Martha, but from all the victims, progressively less and less the further back they died, I guess, or the less blood that was acquired from them. But other than that, he's not going to get his hands on the thing. So he can just let you guys know that whatever was happening, it was giving William effectively, not steroids, but like mental steroids.
LSD.
Yeah. Just a wild concoction of nothing that we recognize on our planet, but there's nothing he can really...
LSD.
Yeah, it's effectively. It's just a wild concoction of like, yeah, it works quite well and it does what it's supposed to do, which you would assume is creativity, and it can just let him work and work and work and work and work. Upon closer inspection, you can tell that William was actually wearing some like makeup and foundation, and his eyes, he's got crazy bags, and he was trying to cover them up.
Jeez.
Nice. So how's the girl doing?
Martha? Or Lee?
No, the other Lee, yeah.
Fortunately, you guys didn't really harm her body too much, so she's actually doing fairly good. They whatever excuse they decided to give her, they were able to let her go just fine. She's back to working. Bender, you had too much to drink, or maybe someone snuck you something in one of those mints. Who knows? But that's what knocked you out for the night. Weird, right? Oh, so strange. And then, her phone friend was like, oh, yeah, you were acting kind of weird. So they're trying to kind of, hey, yeah, nothing happened, right?
How is she going to explain her chopped up fingers?
Martha, that's something completely different. But Lee is mostly fine. The little pins on her body weren't quite as, they weren't quite as distinct. The ones in her spine were just barely, like I said, for Alex, it only looks like it maybe wore him once, maybe twice, but probably just once. Like I said, they're hard to see.
So you say he wore him once?
Effectively, yeah.
Man, that's kind of creepy sounding.
Starfish.
Like, I know we all knew that's what was happening, and yet somehow hearing it like that in that term sounds so weird.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I assume they also inspected all like the writing in the basement, right? The discarded pieces of paper.
Yes, that would more so be information that's brought back to I.C.S. and looked at, which of course we can answer in a bit. But Julian specifically can answer any medical questions regarding Martha, William, obviously Alex and all them, and Lee.
I'm not sure if I have any medical questions specifically, aside from is this poison stuff or the acid poisoned or anything?
Technically, as long as, he kind of gives you a look of like you didn't ingest too much of it, right?
I was kind of covered in it, but
that's an odd question.
It seemed to be fine for now.
Okay. He effectively lets you know without getting to look at the body of the thing, which when he gets back to I.C.S, they can do a little cross-examination. he's not really sure how it functioned. You can describe it, and he'll just kind of, that's weird. But without looking at it, he has samples of like what was extracted from William's bloodstream, other people's bloodstreams and whatnot. So he has samples he's bringing back to the base. But as long as you didn't feel weird after being sprayed, you should be fine.
I mean, does melting skin count as feel weird?
More so like chemically feel weird, rather than like, wow, my skin should not look like that.
Fair.
That'll clear up. Put some lotion on it.
Oh my god. Put some lotion on it.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like bad eczema.
I'm imagining it as like a very heavy sunburn.
Yeah, effectively.
I'm just gonna like be peeling skin for a day in a week.
Awful.
Just put that coal aloe vera on it and you'll be good. All right, do we have any additional questions for Mr. Julian?
Is William going to be okay?
Well, he's awake, but we can hope so. I might need to stay an extra day. He'll probably have to speak with someone else from the agency, just to make sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if we can release him out into the open. We're probably going to detain him for a couple days for questioning.
All right, if you're not sure, and you think that he might be a problem child, I can come back in and break his hand for you.
I don't think that fixes anything.
I mean, if he loses the ability to play piano, maybe.
That's more, shooting a man after he's down. We've allegedly acquired all the weird, I guess, from his abode, right?
Yeah, to my knowledge, yeah.
Okay, then he effectively should be clean and free. I mean, any of the junk that was running through his body has effectively run its course. It's gone. So you guys got him to me as quickly as you could. It looks like the thing that was attached to him peeled off rather quick. So I was able to extract some of its, liquids directly from his spine. So I got what I need.
All right, sounds good to me.
Yeah, like I said, once I team up back with the folk at I.C.S, you recovered the body, right? Of the thing?
Absolutely.
All right, good. I can cross-examine what I have with what they have, then we'll figure some more things out. Like I said, we'll probably hold him for 3 days to a week or so. Obviously, he was horribly injured, so not too worried of a story to sell.
I just figured out more of them. One of them was enough.
Yeah, he nods. If you guys have no more questions for him, we can effectively, however you want to do this, if you go back home and then, debriefing back at I.C.S. the day after, totally up to you.
No, I think a debriefing right after is probably better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, perfect. It'll be a little bit of a drive to get back to base, if you will. But as Julian said, he's effectively headed there as well. But he and all the others, Craig can go back to his job. Good old Craig. No more of a salty boy.
It's definitely still salty.
A little bit, yeah. Just a wee bit.
This day is probably going to haunt him for the rest of his life.
He's just looking through the little...
not being able to tell what's going on.
Yeah, just looking through the little porthole the entire time, like, what are they doing in there? Why are they going to have all the fun?
Yeah, next character I make is going to be Craig.
Craig reincarnated. Reincregnated. All right.
Ew.
To Craig here.
Craig sounds too close to Preg.
Yes,
to me.
I was about to say.
And so it's kind of like re-impregnated. It was like,
You're pregnant. Congratulations. You're having a Craig.
Ew.
Alrighty, sorry to any Craig out there.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry,
guess,
any Craigs.
I guess you're welcome, Craig. One of the two.
There's a Craig. If there's a Craig out there listening, just know it's not personal.
Yes, it is.
Actually, it's very personal. Anyway, heading back to I.C.S. Now you guys can effectively throw whatever questions and such you have at them. Margot, like I said, you were successful in your little endeavor. So in our next mission, to rewind a little bit, we discussed how that move works for Margot, and playing vanilla Monster of the Week, it still doesn't really make any sense. And playing our version, it's going to make even less sense. So there are some moves for, I think, mainly Margot and Jay, because Carson, you took the most basic moves that we'll need to look at to rephrase to make sure they're actually useful for this campaign without saying just throw it away. It'll never be useful, because that's no fun. We already kind of talked about Margot's. Effectively, once you figure something out, rather than, the sect asks you to do something. Well, if you don't know what you're even there for, what would the sect ask you? They're not there. It's your job to figure it out. So we're effectively rephrasing it to Margot figuring shit out, reporting back to the sect, and they go, cool, that weird thing you reported on, get us more information about it. And then she gets more bonus information. That way, it's basically keep doing your job. Good job, you did that thing. Okay, here's another reward. as opposed to at the end of the case, because some of these cases are going to be a bit longer, and I want the move to still be useful. So I guess pocket that somewhere. I think on the character sheet you can mark that you successfully did it, right? Or no?
I don't think so.
Which one was it? When you're in good standing? Oh, you can't. Ooh, good point. Maybe put that in a note somewhere where it says, you get a mission associated
Yeah, I will.
with the mystery. If you do it, you'll get info or help.
Blue circle over your character, and I forget what it is.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, right here, directly to the left of it, where it says sect, you have a whole box there you can fill information in. You just put it there.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well. It's literally right next to it, so it's perfect. So effectively, help owed one, if you want to put it that way. Whatever makes sense to you. But yes, by this point, it is some hours of driving and such. When we get back to one of the agencies, as there are indeed many, they've looked over the corpse. They have information for you. Julian is kind of there to help, along with others that are above him. So now any juicier questions you guys have, we'll say it's been a day or so. So any juicier questions you have regarding William, the thing, any of the clues you guys found. So Margot, at this point, you would have deposited them. Any of that you guys can ask. Also, by this point, you can each recover one more harm.
All of us?
Each of you can recover one, yes.
Woo woo. I'm almost good as new.
I'm not.
My leg is naturally sealing back up. Yay.
Sucks to be you, Jay. I'm just kidding.
Not there.
How dare you?
Alrighty. Now, back at base. Effectively, this is the debriefing. So we'll say at this point, your guys' handler would probably show up. And she sits down, exasperated, around a table, and she's got multiple folders in front of them. Clearly, these aren't just your guys' cases. These are other cases that she's dealing with, and goes, alrighty then, you three. Well, any questions, you can go ahead and fire at me. Or, I'll fire whatever I have at you, but you cleaned this up pretty well.
Yeah, what did I bag and tag?
Oh, you mean the I almost called it a little creature. The little back...
No, the other thing.
Yeah, the, what'd you guys call it? The body-jacking starfish?
Sounds right.
That too, yes.
Is it not officially called a body-jacking starfish?
Shit. Carson, you can call it whatever you want. I honestly don't really care too much, and unfortunately...
Well, that's what it's called from now on.
Sure. I don't think this thing has a name, but I do have some good, bad news, I guess. Maybe unshocking, especially in our line of work. This isn't the first time we've seen something nondescript such as this. And she's kind of looking through her notes at the time, kind of trying to find, and she turns it and slides some papers with some photos over to you guys. And it looks similar. The one you guys found was almost entirely fleshy. This one has some more bone structure in it, and it's smaller, but it has it almost looks like a bone exoskeleton.
Are these like two different offshoots of the same species, or like a different level of, like, a different maturity?
She shrugs. It's like, honestly, I have no idea. But the cases are strangely similar. You said this William character was a pianist, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, it seems this individual here was a writer.
So it's creative juice, this?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But this person...
seems to be in line.
Yeah. This person here also found a quill. It looks very similar to the one that you returned in, Margot.
Oh no, there's multiples?
Apparently. Did you touch it? We of course vetted and questioned you after, and you seem fine, but did it call to you in any way?
As most do, yes.
Well, you clearly didn't answer. You seem fine. You're not twitchy.
I mean, I know better, yes.
You may know better, but some of these things are, well, a bit too strong for us, which is why they hire folks such as we are. But, whatever. We're expendable, I get it. William, unfortunately, wasn't able to resist the thrall of whatever this is. Neither was, and she points at the photos, this unfortunate individual. What they wrote was, honestly, outstanding. This thing was able to...
You mean what the writer wrote?
Oh, yeah. Apparently he was in a slump as well. And whatever this thing is, it kind of just slapped him along the backside and got his creative juices flowing.
Were there any other...
Sorry, what?
Would it be a writer we know? Like, actually famous, or?
If any of you read, like, thrillers, back in the day, maybe like 15 years ago, they had some hits, and then they hit about a 15-year or so slump, and they had been trying to just book after book after book and just whiff. Not awful, but rote.
We've
read this before.
The fantasy version named Peven.
It was 15 years ago, probably not. But...
And the handler basically lets you guys know that whatever they were working on, which of course is, seized by the agency, what they were working on was good. It was much better than their prior work. Their best work, in fact, was better than that. And unfortunately, this one they caught a little too late because he almost finished the entire book, and people had gone missing around the area. Couldn't find them. Period. Nothing. Just people just gone. So sorry. Basically, however this one functioned, people went missing as opposed to being sucked and or openly murdered.
So was it similar? Because the bodyjacking starfish came after right?
Yes,
who was a prodigy of sorts.
Yeah, this case was about 3 years ago or so.
So was the one with the writer, did it go after other people who were also in that same line of creativity?
No, the missing individuals were just your standard, Tom, Dick, and Harry, however you want to say it.
Interesting. I wonder if maybe it was just proximity that had it go to Adam.
You mean Alex?
Sorry, Alex. Why
am I
saying Adam?
They hinted that was the case.
We're thinking that might be it, yeah. We've also, of course, understandably, we can't have the three of you questioning William. He's not really in a state to be questioned. But we did fire some things at him, and he is mostly with us. It'll take a bit more questioning, but if you have any questions regarding him, feel free to fire him my way.
I mean, do we know where they came from? Do we have any leads on that?
They as in what? The quill or the little thing?
The little thing.
Honestly, we have no idea. I wish. Nothing, though. Complete dead end. And it's not like we have a history of these things. We try to document everything we find and everything you guys find. That's the point of the agency.
As of right now, we've only got 2 previous incidents, including ours.
Correct, yes.
That we know of, yes.
That's unfortunate.
And she nods at Jay.
So did the other quill also have reality warping abilities, apparently?
We believe so, yes. The agents reported back with seeing things, hearing things. We actually lost an agent during that little outing, unfortunately. The other 2 were mostly in one piece. They were able to acquire everything and bring it back, though.
Was there a sheet of music with the quill?
There was not, no.
I mean, he's a writer. A manuscript might be more fitting, I guess.
Yeah, something old, I guess. So these are old-fashioned quills, right? With feathers attached?
Very much so, yes. And they have a metal body, a little feather attached to it.
Were they made from the exact same material? Maybe from the same animal?
They look incredibly similar. Although when you bring that up, she kind of laughs at it and says, yeah, well, on the note of animal, we can't determine what animal this is even from. It's nothing on our planet, that's for sure. We even checked, extinct things. Not that we'd have good information on them, seeing as they're gone, but nothing.
Right. And no records on animals that are supposedly able to inspire, well, anything really.
Oh, those most assuredly exist, but I want to say maybe not to this degree. We think it's something else. Something from the beyond. I mean, both authors, the author and the musician, both of them claim they just found the damn thing. It just appeared one day.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. They tend to do that. They'll look at his pocket.
Yeah, a lot of these items do prey on people that want something, need something, especially the unknowing. They attempt to target people that are, well, not like us because we're a bit wiser. But your standard civilian, they have no idea. Luck. It's just luck. I'm in a creative slump and, oh look, now I'm not. They don't put much thought into it. We're actually not sure if he was awake for most of what he was doing, the writing and everything like that. He's incredibly foggy about the whole situation.
So what is going to happen with William?
Like I mentioned, we're going to have to question him for a little longer. He claims, and currently we believe him, but seeing as we've only ran into this incident twice in the past, we're holding off trust, at least for now. But he claims he has no idea what happened to Alex. He honestly believes it was a tragedy or something. Everyone wants to say drugs, because of course that's, I guess, the most logical, whether he was doing them or they were given to him. He ate something that was wrong, or we all know this is bullshit, obviously. But he legitimately believed the kid was good, and something happened, or he was framed. We might just go with framed, honestly. That's the best. Something else interesting. One of the reasons why William firmly believes this, we gave him a little bit of information. We have to give a little. There needs to be some truth in the lie, of course. But one thing that really helped him is, if you recall from the reports, as she flips through them and kind of puts them on the table, do you recall the state of Alex's hands, his arms?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he broke his right wrist. Apparently, Alex was left-handed.
Oh.
So this thing was forcing him to wield the knife in the right hand.
Oh.
Yes, William firmly believes he was framed because of this. And technically he was, so he's not wrong.
Definitely.
That's interesting.
Very, yes.
Oh, speaking of drugs, do we know what they injected in William and stole from everyone else, I guess?
Yes, the little beastie you were able to wrangle up, Margot, and so elegantly sliced in twain. Thank you for not turning it into pulp. We have some people that are a little too
I tried.
lenient with the explosives we allow you guys. But it's quite unique. It seems the creature was able to store the blood and marrow that it was pulling out of its victims in two separate sections of its body. One of them, she kind of winces and looks at both Margot and Jay. I heard you two were sprayed with something.
Blood.
Some kind of acidic blood stuff, yeah.
Well, it seems that it's able to divide, effectively, its body in half. Not the way you cut it, Margot. So it was a little sloppy and took a second to figure it out. But basically, what it extracts from its victims, some of it is used as, unfortunately, as you witnessed, a defensive mechanism. It boils the blood and somehow mixes whatever excretions that it has naturally, some form of acid, and uses it like a projectile. The other portion of its body, once again, more wonderful body excretions, mixes with the blood and somehow uses the essence from it. The marrow and all that fun stuff. And that is what was fueling Mr. William, we believe. It matches what Julian was able to pull out.
Gross.
Quite, yes. And as you were all able to guess, it's able to put its current victim in basically a fugue state. They're entirely unaware of what they're doing. William claims, at least, that he blacked out multiple times, and when he woke up, the music was just there. It was done. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Why question it? Because maybe he did remember it. Maybe he's just having an off day. Apparently, he started drinking around the time he really wanted to start writing. So, I'm sure that didn't help, but it added to his story. I guess it helped him justify what was happening to him.
Yeah, that does sound weirdly addict.
Yeah. This is just sad.
What do the creatures gain though from making?
They seem to have some
art?
kind of relationship with the quill. Not sure where or how they come to be.
What was the metal of the quill made of?
I'm sure you're sick of hearing this, but we have actually seen it before. Once again, nothing from our plane of existence. It's odd. It almost has some like tarnish on it that we can't exactly rub off, sort of like a rust, but there's no way to clean it. And it's just progressively getting worse, better. I don't know if this is a state it wants to be in, but it's not a metal we recognize. This thing, whatever it is, was touched from something else that unfortunately we weren't able to get our hands on, and I'm assuming it was from something long ago. This is old. Very, very old. Quite, yes. Something else? Yes?
Where was the other quill found? Like, specific location?
A specific location? No, it was in
Basement
the...
as well?
Not in the basement, no. I believe it was... I think he hid it in... It was in a locker of some variety, I believe. Let me see. She's flipping through the pages.
A locker?
Yes, looks like it was a safe in his house. Second floor.
Huh. So not dark, damp, and moist.
No, this other thing was somewhat different for some reason.
Interesting.
God, I feel like we have no actual answers here.
She's nodding along and says, sometimes we don't get a solid answer. Sometimes solving it's the best we can do.
I know, it just kills me.
I mean, this is the first time they give me some kind of explanation, so I'm thrilled.
Oh, well, you know what? Silver linings.
Yeah, she kind of nods and taps the notepad and the paper on the table and says, Yeah, sometimes y'all just kill it and that's the end of it. We literally have no information. All victims dead. Maybe one survives. We have to, put them out of their misery due to reasons. And then that's fun to cover up. And your job is to just contain the problem and make sure no one finds out about it. Of course. And hope for the best. Sometimes we can find more, but unfortunately, like I mentioned, the prior crew, the one that dealt with the other quill, they were able to get plenty of information, but unfortunately we lost one of them. As these cases tend to go, the closer you get, sooner you can expect your life expectancy to shorten. Dangerous line and all that.
So what's going to happen to William and Martha after this?
Martha will be fine. We're currently using the story that William is in intensive care, and we're doing our absolute best. After we finish questioning him, we need to make sure he wasn't malicious. Currently, we don't believe he was. We honestly think, at least, unless he's very, very good at lying, he had no idea this thing attached itself to Alex. He might not even know it attached itself to him. It was just somehow communicating him via, we don't know what, honestly. Some form of psychic connection, maybe. Maybe it's commanded through the quill. We don't know. But a lot of the papers that were recovered were written with said quill.
What about the handwriting? Was it all Williams?
All of it matches William, correct. We could, of course, get more answers upon testing the quill, but these are, I mentioned we had the other one for quite some time. There are certain artifacts that we just prefer to lock away. Of course, they are worth testing, but we don't want to lose any more of you. If you can figure it out in the field, great. If you can't, then we'll keep it out of sight for as long as we possibly can. As you know, some of these things tend to, grow legs and walk out.
Yeah.
Which I mean literally sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah, honestly. I was going to say, not necessarily a metaphor.
She sighs loudly. Nope.
Well, I guess, is that it? Is that the end of the investigation?
I mean, you've all left Russell Springs, so is Julian. We have a few agents going in and plugging certain holes in the somewhat sinking ship, but we didn't leave too much damage behind, which is good for us, of course. And obviously, we already have a mission prepared for the three of you, unless you're, horribly busy with something. You'll have, of course, a day or two to yourselves. But once you regain yourselves, we are incredibly busy, as I'm sure you can guess. In fact, we had an agent that should be done, and he is currently not, for whatever reason. So you'll be going in his place.
What's the other guy supposed to be doing?
We try not to cross-contaminate information too much.
Are we debrief? Well, okay.
It can get complicated.
I mean, nobody worried about that guy, or?
He's been checking in with us. Apparently, he found whatever it is, and he's trying to work undercover. So we'll trust his judgment. Some of you, most of you play by the rules and go by the book, and he's a little, I wouldn't call him a wild card. He gets the job done, but sometimes he likes to go dark for whatever reason.
I do like the phrase likes to go dark. I too wish I could just disappear from all contact.
She yawns and kind of smirks at that. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to take advantage of those 2 days then.
Of course.
Sleep.
I forgot to mention, as she's flipping through, this here, and she slides the, basically a copy of the music towards you guys, specifically the one that you grabbed, Margot. Are any of you musically inclined or anything?
No.
I mean, I took some lessons when I was a kid. I know my notes, but that's about it.
I know this guy who's an incredible accordion player.
Oh, fantastic. You'll have to introduce me.
Yeah? Well, what does the music sound like? Can we see it? Can we hear it?
Great question.
If you want, Jay can sound it out for you.
Well, that's the funny thing. And she points it towards Jane. It takes a second, but you realize it's music. Everything is music. But there's something wrong with it. Like, it just doesn't look correct.
Like it feels bad?
Not like spooky bad. Almost like it wasn't created for the sake of being music. It can be played.
He'll try to like hum it out and go like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, it sounds. It's not like discordant. It's not really close to what William was playing. There's something off about it. Very much so. And not like evil off about it. Just like this. Anyone associated with music's like, why are they? No, that's not how you put notes on a page. What the hell?
Well, I guess to be fair, what humanity thinks as music might not be what strange, otherworldly monsters might think is music.
I mean, honestly, it might not even be music at all.
She points at both of you and nods.
Maybe
and
it's a
says,
message.
Her eyes, okay, wow. She goes like, yeah, actually, that's what it
I
is.
don't know. What about your writer? Did he have any repeating messages anywhere? Or, I don't know, stuff in his book?
Unfortunately, the book was almost done, so believe it or not, we're still looking through it. I know.
But do we know what this says?
We actually do. Some of our agents were able to run it through a cipher. And apparently, it's not really music. There's no time signature. It's weird to have a full note, half note, full note, but then being evenly spaced and then a breath. It's weird. But after running it through said cipher, it actually says, they will help you play.
They will help you play?
She nods. I don't know if William understood what this meant upon looking at it. Maybe he could just feel it. Maybe this was a way of the quill communicating with him. I'm not entirely sure.
Is that why maybe it reached out to Alex? And from Alex to Alex's family to their neighbors?
She shrugs.
Maybe.
She says, my best...
He was playing that tune a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Putting it in everything, or am I thinking wrong?
Well, it seems William specifically tried to sneak this in and take it apart, put it back together. He was looking at it in various different ways, effectively to say, how can I fit this? This was given to me by the gods or by, the other me, the sleeping me, the id. I forgot exactly what it's called, but maybe he just assumed this has to be in the music somewhere, and it is. She shows you some more copies of all the wrinkled and ripped up papers, and you can kind of see it repeating, but this looks like music. This is proper.
How does it sound in the songs? Can you tell that it's in there if you weren't looking?
If you weren't looking, no. It's definitely hidden.
Interesting.
At this point, looking at the music, this is very much William's music, but he based it off of this beginning message. We believe something reached out and spoke to him. It gave him this ability, or whatever he wants to call it, and he took it.
This is very
let's hope they leave us alone.
Playing the records back and hearing satanic music, satanic panic.
If there's a bushel in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. Those lyrics are weird, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, does Carson also say that in character, by the way, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Jay will sing it backwards. See if anything makes sense.
It's just it's nonsense. It's hard to even hum it out. Yeah, there's no time signature. They're like not spaced properly. The breaths are in weird spots. Everything is perfectly evenly placed, almost
that
like
so bizarre.
Yeah, it's like a typewriter typed this out almost. It's really, really weird. Like you don't put notes this evenly spaced unless they are of the same like fourth note, fourth note. Continue. These are like half notes and like eighth note. It's really weird. I don't think there's bars either. Yeah, there's no bars. It just goes. It's just one bar, so it doesn't make any sense looking at it. Initially, they're like, oh, maybe it got rubbed away. Maybe I don't know why a musician would do this, but maybe he was just like freehanding it. But why was this the only sheet not ripped up? It's just weird. This one was like preserved. It was like perfectly preserved. Everything else was, clearly not to his liking.
I mean, was the paper also like weird, or is it normal paper?
Normal paper. He's had it for a little while, but it's fairly normal paper.
Weird.
Yeah.
Was it also in his handwriting?
Yeah, all of this is in his handwriting. The only different part about the original note is, like I said, everything is like very evenly spaced. Just boop, 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 pause, boop, 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 pause. And when I say pause, it's literally a pause. Which is how they were able to tell it was a cipher, because those are spaces in a sentence, basically.
That's so wild. But all in all, we really don't have much, do we?
Unfortunately not. A lot of cases, as I'm sure you all know, aren't fully solved. They're given to us, we continue looking into them. Sometimes years later, we'll get the information we actually want. And other times, honestly, it's never solved, but as long as you put a cork on it and said beastie goes away, we're happy.
Put a cork in it.
Effectively.
All right. And how long until we get the new assignment? 2 days? Is that what you said?
Approximately 2 days, yes. We're trying not to rush you too much. Mental health and all that is relatively important, but you know how things go. We're only semi-worried about the other agent.
Only semi-worried.
She shrugs. Very much like, we're used to his shit, he's weird.
Where is this, actually?
Where's what?
the other agent. Where are we going next?
You'll be briefed on it. It's, oh god, from here it's not one state over. It's about a 3-hour drive, though. 2-hour drive.
All right.
Relatively close. We'll let you know. Don't worry.
In that case, I'll handle the transport.
And she nods and looking at you, Jay says, we won't catch you off guard this time. You have 2 days, so plan accordingly.
Will do.
All right, and do you guys have any other questions for her? She's kind of racking up all the sheets.
No, honestly, that's fine with me.
I do have one question.
Okay, as she's racking them up, she turns to you, Margot.
How did the writer die? Did the agents kill him, or did the creature kill him?
She pauses and kind of flips as if to refresh her memory and says, yeah, it looks like we had to put him down at the scene.
Did he get aggressive, or?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, we lost an agent. 3%.
Well, okay. Well, was it the creature defending itself, or was he actually like trying to protect the creature?
According to the agent's testimony, it looks as if the creature was trying to protect itself and effectively used the man as a shield.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They were bound for quite some time. As I mentioned, the book was almost finished.
Interesting.
Well, keep us updated on the book, I guess.
Will do. All right, and the 3 of you head out.
Yep.
Alrighty, this next portion, you guys can play this out however you wish, but this is official downtime, meaning we can de-stress as of now. So, I'm totally cool with fully role-playing these out. If you guys want to give me little hints and clues on how the various NPCs in your life, or unless you're going out and, drinking or just partying, you don't necessarily need to have NPCs, but if you're like, I go to talk to my girlfriend or boyfriend or, whatever partner. I don't know if you guys are married or anything, or just swinging around. Totally up to you. Or your dog. That's fine too. However you guys want to de-stress.
I go right back to work. That's not true. I let myself have. No, actually, Lila makes sure I take a day off.
That tracks.
And then I bully my way into working for a day.
Alrighty.
On that day off, though, I'd work on my car.
Okay. So your de-stress is to chill with your car by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll de-stress, and I believe it lets you choose a stat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess for reference, I don't know if the drop-down tells you, but you have various options. I would say for working in a car, either cool or sharp make the most sense.
So I can only use cool, charm, or weird.
Sounds good. Sharp, I almost would never use in a de-stress activity because it doesn't make much sense.
Try
but yeah.
Cool.
All right. Excellent.
All
right.
Mixed success.
Got an 8.
I don't de-stress enough.
All right. So with Bring It Together, you got an 8, meaning you can remove 1 wedge. You only have it in 1 wedge, so that makes it nice and easy for me.
You remove the wedge, though, right?
Yep. I can show you guys how to do that, but it's
Yay!
a little fiddly.
Yeah.
All set, though. But yes, taking a day to yourself. While we're at it, each of you can go and heal 2 harm. So Carson, you're completely cleared up. Margot and Jay, you're at dose.
Woohoo! I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
I'm gonna hang out with my BFF and be real proud that she's so smart.
All right. Where do you meet your BFF? Do you squeak by the doggy daycare, or do they drop her off at home, or how's that work?
Are there any doggy daycares that do overnight?
I think we kind of discussed it last time. Effectively, because you know how your job works, you almost never go out one day and you're done. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month. So with this, they're top quality. So they knew, you probably called and said, hey, I need you to extend the BFF stay. They knew to hold her for extra days for you.
All right, then I'm definitely gonna go pick her up at doggy daycare.
All right, perfect. Do you have a name for the doggy daycare?
I'm gonna have to think about it.
All right.
It's more of an all daycare.
Excellent. I'm sure we can think of plenty of cheesy dog names. We got like Paws R Us. What else we got? Furry friends, things of that nature. We'll figure it out.
Let's not go with that one.
Yeah. Honestly, as that one came out, I realized that could be a totally different thing. But yeah, we'll get that figured out. Anyway, BFF is very happy to see you, Margot. As you arrive, she you call for the BFF. They go, oh yes, and then they turn to kind of go check, and there's all these little doggies running around and whatnot. They're all happy going through, those little mazes and little jumping areas, and BFF just comes like hurtling towards the gate, and she's like, she's very excited to see you.
I try not to look excited, but I might not be doing a good job.
Her tail's going wild. Her little floppy ears are like whoop whoop whoop. and her big paws don't really allow her to stop as quickly as she wants to, and she slides a bit as she runs to you and attempts to stop and kind of bumps into the gate, but doesn't really seem to notice it.
She ran up to the gate. Okay, I will quickly charge over and make sure she's okay.
She's just giving you that dumb doggy look of like, hi.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I hate
that's not
Maverick.
fair.
I hate Maverick.
And the caretaker's like, oh, shoot. Oh, I guess she's fine. Okay. And then they kind of bend over to, there's like a subsection of the gate so they don't open it. All the dogs come flying out. She moves in, basically past like the first gate, and then she opens the second one, just letting BFF in. And she's like, she was so good. She did a fantastic job. We went through training and feeding and everything. And yeah, she's pretty well behaved for a little puppy and all that. But we're doing our best to keep her trained and happy.
Thank you very much.
Of course. If you ever need to bring her back, you're always more than welcome to, Margot. We always appreciate your business.
Oh, I will.
And little BFF just like kind of runs up next to you as you pop the little collar on her, and she's just like, up, just walking next to you to the car.
I'm trying to look cool still.
Excellent. It's very hard to look cool with this doofy little puppy next to you, but Margot definitely exudes coolness.
I've been practicing for a very long time, so yeah.
Indeed. Do you de-stress with the Poochums?
Please, she's adorable. How can I not?
Excellent. Where do you take her?
The park.
All right, dog park. Definitely not weird. You can roll Cooler Charm, up to you.
I was gonna say charm because she's so charming, unlike me, but no.
Totally up to you.
Mm-hmm.
You said cool, right?
Cooler Charm work, yeah. Cool, training, kind of figuring thing out.
Oh!
Alrighty.
Sorry, I actually, out of game, I think that I really need to stop taking so much joy whenever Melanie fails.
Well, for reference, she gets experience, so it's okay.
I just think there's just something about it, I think, with the combination of my and her existing relationship and that image
of her failing.
And I can only hope that she feels that way when I fail.
No, not really.
I love equality. You better hate it.
No, I hate it because failing sucks.
Well, fortunately, with the way I have it written, failing doesn't really do anything. If I want, basically, I can move a wedge over from one clock to another. I don't want to. I'll just keep it on stress. That's fine. So you're good. What does this look like, though? Why aren't you able to de-stress?
There are too many other dogs and dog owners in the park, and I'm self-conscious.
Okay, fair enough. And your pooch is trying to, meander over to the others and get attention and like, and kind of do her thing, and maybe a little too much attention. You just got through this case, and all these dogs barking and running around, and you're like, oh my god, like this owner's trying to say, oh, cute dog, and like, oh, what's her name? And it's too much. You came in
yes. I am not very sociable, and I'm still not full health.
Definitely not the best, but you don't get any stress, so that's fine. Just slightly annoying. And after that, I assume you bring her home and kind of just chill at the house, the casa.
Yes.
Alrighty. And while you're doing that, Mr. J, what do you do to de-stress?
I mean, aside from the normal thing, finally going on a date with his girlfriend, I guess, which is normal. After that, did we also get paid, actually?
Yes, after every mission, basically, whatever the thing is, mission completed, your pay is effectively deposited into your account.
Usual, and whenever he gets paid, he donates some of it to the local, what's the word?
Foster home?
Yeah, the local foster home where he grew up. And after that, he's finally going to go for his laps around the course. Just get some speed.
Excellent. And what would you like to roll for that?
What makes sense for driving hard?
I mean, cool sounds pretty good.
Sure. Actually, does de-stress also take advantage from my abilities?
This one is on its own, basically.
Because I do get a +1 going forward when driving, usually.
Yeah, that's more so for like something in the mission, effectively.
I also feel.
Oh, no, okay. Well, go ahead and mark experience. J. Do I want to move wedges? No, I think I'll keep them where they are. Probably, thinking back to everything, all the nonsense, knowing you have a mission up ahead, is that kind of getting to you?
He's probably like half still thinking about the case as he's driving harder and harder, and he just can't get, that driver's high because he has too many questions roaming through his head.
Does Jay listen to the sound of the motor while he's racing, or do you have like music to accompany your speed?
Usually he listens to the motor, and he might have like the radio on, depending on like, if it's a long drive or something. But he is very much, with his car, his Buick, he's very much convinced that it's cursed. Because usually there is like weird things happening, and not with breaking or anything, but like maybe a light comes on that shouldn't be going on.
Excellent.
Or like the radio is weirdly staticky in one specific location that is like literally right below an antenna.
Perfect. Alrighty, and after all this, with mission accomplished, few fatalities, we were able to save the chambers. Basically, they're all fine, and I can definitely update you guys on how William's doing later. But each of you can go ahead and add 2 experience for completely finishing this case. And I believe that should level 1 or 2 of you.
Me.
So
Me.
Carson, that should be
I got excited.
That should be your first experience, though. So you need 2 of these to level, I believe.
Aw.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
You failed one.
No, wait. I failed, so I have 3. Oh, wait. I still don't level up.
It's close. It's only that's only 2 more whiffs.
Yeah, I definitely had stuff from the last time we played, I think.
Yeah. I'm keeping track elsewhere.
I should have 11, which is a rank up. Yeah.
Yep.
You're giving us 2 ticks?
You get 2 ticks from completing this case, correct?
So close.
And, do you not level, Margo?
No, I still need 1 more tick.
You need 1 more tick. Okay, super close. But say, you know what you want, though, right? You already have it marked, I believe?
Yeah, I've already got it picked out.
Okay.
I had it picked out the last time we played, which was what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. All right, do you have an idea of what you want for Jay?
I had 2 IDs. I'm going to quickly take a look what they were.
Yeah, basically you can add a stat. You can add 1 more crooked move.
I think I was going with a crooked move first, at least. But
okay. So 2 of your moves we have to kind of rephrase on how they function, just slightly to make sure everything's in tune with how it should be, and it doesn't become useless. So artifact we need to kind of fix. Also your pocket watch just a little bit, but you and I can definitely discuss that. Anything that is magically, basically any kind of magic items or anything, we can't get access to unless we find it during the mission, or unless it's gained through something else, or it made sense in how we acquired it or something. Mainly so I can give you guys fun, weird magic items that can do extra things. Because like I said, we're keeping the magic low. So when you guys do have magic, it's weird and it's wild and not like, oh, it's a rope. We can all do this. Because of that, we can rephrase how things work. But also because of that, we won't be running into as much magical opposition. So for example, your skeleton key that opens up magically sealed locks, that's not too strong. It's not going to come up very frequently. So we can either have it be something else, or so you can either take a different one if you want, or so like protective amulet, all those other ones are perfectly fine. We can just say you have an insanely potent lockpicking kit, like ridiculously so, including digital. So if I say this shit's locked, you guys aren't getting in. If you're like, I have, this like laptop that can, interface with like digital locks, like fingerprint locks, and whatnot, we can say it's that instead if you want. Totally up to you. Because each of you can.
I do like the idea of it, like, I don't know, somehow assisting me in picking locks, but allowing me to pick everything, but I'm not sure how that would play out.
Well,
I already have a burglary roll anyway, so.
Right. So effectively, we don't have something unless it like makes sense for the character, of course. So if, for example, Mario can say, I want to break into this house, and I would just ask how. Like, do you have lockpicking tools on you? Is it something your character would have? And you go, probably not. Then obviously in this game, I don't go, take a -1. I don't do that. Obviously, I would just say you can't do it then. Like, straight up, you just can't roll. It's not going to happen. And that's perfectly fine. Sort of like, I shoot this rock and kill it. That's not physically possible, so I won't even have you roll. It just fails. But if you have a skill or an ability that says I can do blank, then yes, you suddenly can. So realistically, if you guys run into locked, like you do have the burglary roll, of course, but the burglary roll only applies if it's feasible that you can get in. So if I say this is like Fort Knox lockdown, you ain't getting in. If you have skeleton key, that basically says, no, that allows me to get in. So anytime I would impose a really potent lock in front of you guys saying they put some money into this would help you get by that effectively.
Sure.
So you're like a master locksmith. If that's how you want it, that's perfect.
Yeah. Like I imagine him basically whenever he comes across a lock or whatever, he takes out his pocket watch and uses it to, I don't know, time the clicks or something. Yeah.
Because some things would either be not necessarily too hard, but maybe the timing is too tight. Like you can get into this, but it might take you 5 minutes. But if you take like the skeleton key, it can take you 5 minutes. It'll take you like 2. You'll be able to get in way quicker. So any items or things you guys have effectively justify the way your character functions. So effectively, you can roll whatever you want, But having the thing that says, I have this, makes it much quicker and guaranteed. And of course, the other reason to double check things is to make sure, we don't take a move that's going to be basically useless, which is why we kind of rephrased Margot's. I want that one to be good because it sounds cool. So realistically, just so you know, you can only take 2 more crooked moves out of every crooked move. And that's it. You can't take any more. And I know there's a lot. I think there's like 6 you can pull from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
That's 6 or that's 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6. So there's 6 more you haven't taken. Maxing out this character, you can only take 2 more, I believe. Let's see. Does Advance let you take more? No, it doesn't. So you can take 2 more crooked moves and then 2 more from other playbooks, which is what makes your character unique. So I don't know if you want to read over those 6 now, or we pause now. And realistically, I think you guys can all look at each other's character sheets, I believe. If you guys have ideas and go, oh, that sounds cool, we can kind of all look at that.
I have some ideas, but it's like I'm not really sure which one would be more fitting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just ask. Some moves, I'll be honest, are kind of useless regardless of how you play the game. Not useless, It's just they're not as potent. They don't feel as like,
Yeah, that's sadly the case for one of them that I wanted to pick, which is Notorious, but it's kind of It doesn't do anything as far as I know.
So Notorious is very much a roleplay one. Effectively, if you reveal who you are, like the thing is Jay a terrifying person though? Like, do you have a dark past? Is that something you want? Not dark.
But he has a reputation. Is about the thing.
Yeah. So if you want to have that like underground reputation with criminals, definitely take it. That effectively means, so for example, if Carson were to try to convince somebody of something, and I just go, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell unless you, Carson, come up with a reason, I'm going to let you roll. But you might just say, this guy knows who I am. That's the reason. And I go, yep, he does, because he's also part of the criminal world. And you are a name to be reckoned with, Jay, regardless if they fear you or if they respect you. So Notorious would basically allow you to roll convince on someone that you normally couldn't roll that on. So effectively, that's how these moves work. And as with all campaigns, I will be transparent with you guys. You guys will be dealing with, the criminal world and like the underworld and whatnot and all those crazy things. So if you're worried, for example, are we going to see undead in this campaign? Probably shouldn't have taken all those undead feats. Just let me know, like, hey, I'm planning on taking this. Am I wasting it? So in that sense, no, you're not wasting it.
Well, my other one, I was thinking about taking one of the, I think it was Expert that Kaiba was, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think they had like a move that allows you to effectively always have like certain tools on hand and have like that for my minivan.
Oh.
So basically he is a mobile tool shop. But I'll have to check real quick what the thing is for that.
There's definitely a couple in there.
Luckily, I can just check Kaiba's sheet.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at. I think it's preparedness when you need something unusual or rare.
Yeah. Either that one or there was... Actually, this is not something I can take. No, sadly no. Yeah. I mean, it kind of works, but at the same time it doesn't.
For which one?
Preparedness. Because this is more so like for mystery stuff, like... Because it's something unusual or rare.
I mean, definitely, but like one good example is I'll tell you if something is too rare and there's no way to get it, and you either need to speak with someone or contact. Like basically, if you need to contact the agency, that's what this would be used for. Or if it's something that's like, oh man, this is really expensive, dude. Like a grenade is probably I have a grenade, but if it's like a really specific one, that would what this would be used for. Or you guys would just go to someone and speak with them. But obviously, it's not a catch-all. But if you say, like, let's say Jay's not in the group, and you go, oh, we want to break into this, and Margot's never ever. Like, you say you don't see Margot as someone who would ever break into something, and Carson's like, yeah, me neither, then preparedness would basically be like, if I roll this, I have a good set of lockpicking tools. And then that's what this would exist for. So random, kind of like quantum equipment, random shit you guys probably don't have on you, that wouldn't make sense to have on you, that's what this is for, which is honestly great. Especially if it's weird.
I think I'm going to like look through the other moves for a bit more.
Sure. That will definitely take some time, so we can most assuredly pause there, and... assuming the holiday doesn't get in the way too much, as I mentioned, going forward, the cases are going to be less straightforward. If you guys need me to make a new notepad for you, or if you need something, if you need to, like, subsection them out, just so, clarity and all that, please let me know. I don't know if you guys can make notes on your own. You might be able to, but, once again, just flag me down and I'll get it all figured out for you. But I'm real excited because I have a lot of wonderfully, definitely not nasty things planned for you guys.
Woohoo!
Yay! But
that can't be weirder than a body checking starfish.
We will most definitely see. But until then, Toodaloo.